Hello everyone and welcome back to the layout. In today's video we're going to be taking you through the updates on the layout over the course of April and sort of March as well, because I didn't really do an April update. That was purely down to not a lot being done, but I started cracking on with the town scene and a bit over by the ballast sidings, the Scenic break over that side. So let's get straight into it. So it doesn't really look like too much has been done. And to be honest, it hasn't really. I mean, I've laid the road in the foreground here, just on this side. That'll just be running off. Then there's a gravel kind of like a dirt track running around there. Now my aim is to put this old Hornby Scaledale windmill that I got brought ages ago for the old layout. That will be positioned in the corner there, and then I'll probably have a couple of cottages along the back there. But it's just trying to make it look right. And obviously I'm very limited to space within this area, but the main thing I've been doing is putting, you know, bits of, like bushes and trees up and stuff like that. I put the security fencing up. I can't remember who this is by. I'm pretty sure it's the Wheels Kits one. And then I had some like mesh type stuff which works really well. I think I got that off eBay ages ago, and I just had it lying around, so I thought I'd use it. And I've just kind of painted it in a little like rusty colour. I'm not sure if you can really see that, but yeah, it needs another coat for sure. And then I've just kind of added some kind of gravel and some green, some like grass and stuff, and some foliage. Pretty much all the track on this side has now been ballasted. The third rail has been added up until the 2 points. That was done in the third rail video. If you guys do want to learn how to put the third rail into your layout, then there'll be a link in the description, linking you to that video, where you can. It's an easy process, but it's kind of just fiddly. But yeah, so that's all done, and we just need to really kind of weather the track. I've still got my airbrush sitting in the box, and I need to get the right adapter for it. So once I've got that, I'm gonna have a go at airbrushing the track. I think I'll do a few practice runs on some other track and then see how I get on. Now with this embankment here, what I want to do with this, I want to do something different. I want to kind of make it look like it's half getting cut. You know, a lot of the time you see Network Rail cutting back, you know, like the leaves and bushes to stop it all like going on the line and stuff. That's really what I want to do here. So I'm maybe going to have like the overgrown bit in that area, and as it comes round, kind of do some like tree trunks just being cut off, and all the grass like laying there and all the bushes laying there. So hopefully that'll look quite good. But we'll see what I can do with that over the next sort of month. But that's kind of it for this area. I got a little bit of like lack of inspiration. I started building like fencing and stuff to go around all like the farm area that I want here, and I kind of just got a bit bored of it, so I stopped and moved on to something else. And I actually got a bit of inspiration for the town scene, so I'll show you what I've been working on for there. So there we go. Straight away you can see that there's been progress over here. Again, I'm not really rushing it because I do want to kind of get it right. And I want to get the right buildings, and I've been scratch building a lot of the buildings, so it takes me a while to do it, especially to do it kind of neatly, which I'm not very good at the moment, but like they say, practice makes perfect. But anyway, the first building I've been scratch building is a petrol station. Now I've seen there's loads of these available. You know, you could buy a Bachmann Syncraft one or something else like that, but I just decided I wanted to have a go at it myself. I was limited to space, so you know, I could build the size that I wanted to, and have it how I wanted to have it, right? So it's very unique to my layout. It's probably a little bit too high to how I wanted it. I did base it off the height of a lorry. I'm pretty sure they can only just fit under it, or slightly not fit under it, but I think I've built it a little bit too high, so I might cut it down. But obviously it's in the very early stages of building. You know, I need to kind of do all the forecourt and add little window frames to all the shop and stuff like that. It will be a BP garage, so it will be painted in the respective colours for BP, and obviously all the detailing of like the pumps and the cars and stuff like that will all be added towards the end. So hopefully once the detailing goes on, it will kind of look a little bit better. So here's the main layout for the town scene. Obviously, again, I'm limited to space, but I think I've kind of worked it as best as I can with the space I'm working with. The curbstones are from Scale Model Scenery, probably the best on the market, like I said before in other updates. You can bend them and twist them into the shape that you want. And the reason I've done like a really funny shape is because over this side, where I haven't quite painted it, this is going to be a bus lane. It'll be painted red, and obviously detailed up and stuff like that. And then there'll be a bus stop over this side. Now with it being so close to the station, I want to put like an underground subway entrance into there, because obviously this ties in well with the fact that my station building will be below the station. And then over where the station building is that I've been kind of having a go at scratch building, that will be just a row of shops, which again I will try and scratch build myself. I've brought all shop fronts and stuff like this. They're all like 3D printed, so they will be added, and then I can just kind of do the shell myself behind it, and then hopefully they should look pretty good. But I've got to kind of angle it so you can see it and it doesn't just make them pointless being there, which is going to be very difficult with the angle that I've kind of put the road at. Now this building here is slightly out of scale. It's a 1:87, so it's HO scale. But to be honest, I don't think anyone's going to realise that it is kind of out of scale, because buildings obviously come in different shapes and sizes. But can I just say, I brought this off eBay from Hong Kong, and literally it took me about 5 minutes to put together. If all the kits that were built and sold from the UK manufacturers were like this, honestly model making would be so easy, but unfortunately it's not. And literally all the parts come in, so like they come in the front and stuff like that, and they all just clip together, and then you don't even need to glue. You can glue it. I haven't glued it just yet, but they all just clip in and it literally sits on there as it is. Obviously there will be detailing added to it. I'll be painting it a different colour, adding doors, windows and stuff like that. It's quite a basic model, but when you pay about £12 for it, I mean, what more can you ask for? To be honest, you can customise it as much as you like, and that's what I aim to do. Now over here, originally it was going to be like a construction site, but I think I might change that. I might buy another one of them and put it on this side, and then do like a row of buildings in there, maybe like a shopping centre or like a low relief shopping centre. But yeah, it was originally going to be a construction site, but with the building that I built myself, it kind of went a little bit over the top and it didn't really fit there or look right, so I decided to change it. But I've just laid cork down for all the buildings to sit on so they're level with the paths, and then I've just filled in the paths along the edge of the curbstones. Now the easy way that I do the roads and stuff, I've seen loads of people do this. Obviously you can get the Woodland Scenic starter kit and road kit and stuff like that. Now to get the road kind of, if you can slightly see here, it's got like a little bump in it. Now this is where the road originally started, and the way I do it to get this kind of effect of the road being there, because obviously you don't want it flat on the baseboard, I just use standard filler. Now I masking tape down either side of how wide I want the road and where I want the road, and I simply just fill over the top, and then I just peel away the masking tape, and that gives me the road that I want. Now using filler, you can obviously shape it and mould it and sand it into any way that you like. You can make it as rough as you like. Obviously roads aren't flat, they never will be, because councils are lazy and don't fill potholes. So using filler, it gives you a good opportunity to, to dig it out and sand it, like I said, and add kind of cracks and stuff into the road like you would see in real life. And then simply just add the curbstones along the edge, and then mask up the curbstones with, again, masking tape. And then again, to make the paths, just the same method, just fill in the area that you want to fill, and that gives the kind of path effect. And then I've just painted it grey. I'm not entirely happy about the grey, it looks a little bit too dark for me, so I might lighten it a little bit. But again, it's giving the effect of a tarmac path. Obviously you can use like cobblestone, and not cobblestones, like paving stones, or or anything like that, like you would see in some other towns. But as far as I'm concerned, the tarmac effect on paths and roads is working well for me. Now the final part, and this was originally what I was going to be putting over on the right hand side of the camera in the town scene. This is the building that I decided to scratch build. Now the reason that I've done this is because I've actually brought a tower crane which will actually sit in the middle of the building and kind of come up and imagine it being like lifting beams up and stuff like that. Now I originally wanted it over on this side because it would have given me a bigger chance, like a bigger area to work with, and it would have looked good with the crane, but I decided to move it to here because this is kind of like a no man's land area where there's not really much I can do with it. Obviously I've got the incline running down the middle of it, and then over there it's just going to start into like houses and stuff like that. So I thought by adding this kind of big skyscraper-ish building with a crane in the middle, it'll kind of act as like a good scenic break and block everything out around the tunnel entrance of the incline and break up the next scene. Obviously I've just painted it kind of like a concrete colour for now. This was the Woodland Scenic concrete. I wouldn't recommend buying that because quite honestly it looks a bit too yellow. I think there's better effects you can make just by mixing greys up and stuff like that. And for like £8 for a small pot of paint, it's actually quite expensive. But as I brought it, I just thought I'd use it, and this is kind of the area that I will be like walling off and making into a construction site. Obviously I'll be adding all the things you would find on there, and then the appropriate like walling and stuff like that around it, security fencing. The beams themselves will be obviously detailed in red, like they've been galvanised, and that should kind of, again, my scratch building is very limited and it's in the early stages of the scratch building process, so hopefully once it's kind of got some more details on it, I've filled a few of the holes and stuff like that, it'll kind of look alright. Now the final thing I've been scratch building, and this is this is something that I was kind of, it took me a lot of time to think of how to do this, because I was trying to work out how I could dig a hole into the kind of platform without ruining all the ballast and stuff, and I decided against it. And what I'm going to actually do is just leave this, I've scratch built this like subway entrance and with a lift entrance there, and then there's going to be stairs kind of running in there, just to get down off of the platform. Now originally I was going to run it off the top of here, hence why it's the same height, but that would leave this like awkward part of the platform which hasn't really got anything on, and that kind of makes it a little bit pointless, because yeah, what's the point in having an edge bit? I guess it would look alright, and obviously it's going to have a bit over there because this one's going to start here as well, but we'll see on that one. It does kind of make sense just to start it at the canopy, I guess, actually, and it doesn't actually look too bad the more I look at it. But I've built it the same height as the canopies, and then obviously I just need to add signage and stuff like that, and a bit more detailing. So everything's kind of in like the starting stage of actually getting there. I've kind of done the bulk of it really. I just need to start adding finer details, but to me finer details aren't really important at the moment. Obviously some people like to work and complete a scene and then do it with all the finer details and stuff, but I like to get the bulk of it out of the way and focus on other areas. And normally I get bored of working on one area, so I then just work on another area, and it kind of keeps me motivated to do both, and I don't get fed up with working on one or get like writer's block or whatever. So the last thing to update on, obviously there's no new additions because you saw the PCA wagons in a separate video from a Cura scale, but this little side project that I've been working on, I got this off of eBay. This was I think it was by Modern Multiple Units or something like that. There's an eBay account on there. And it's basically a resin, I think it's a resin kit or a 3D kit of a class 508. Now obviously 508s were quite popular in the 90s, and I think they ran into the early 2000s maybe on their last legs or whatever, and they still run on the network in some northern places, but they're slowly getting replaced. But I thought I'd have a go at building a 508 unit. Now I've only got a 2 car, And the reason being, obviously they didn't run in 2 cars, but the reason being is because I'm going to do something a little bit different with it. I'm not going to tell you what it is, I'll leave you to guess in the comments. But it's something that you do see on the network. And it involves 2 car 508s, and this will be featured on the layout, and it will obviously run around. It's not going to be motorised, so that's a little clue for you. But it's at the stage where I'm just kind of filling. It looks really messy at the moment, but I've kind of stuck the shell together, and I've just been filling and sanding at the moment. So there's a long way to go. There's a lot of detail to add. There's obviously to paint it and stuff like that. But this is a side project I've been working on, and gradually over the months I will kind of update you of how this is going. I've been just filming me kind of building it and sanding it and stuff like that, so if you do want to see that as like a montage at the end once it's finished, then obviously I will do that. But for me, this is kind of a good chance to get a bit of practice in with kit building, and yeah, hopefully once I've done this one I can kind of attempt other units, like, you know, maybe like an Electrostar or something like that. But we'll see how it goes. So there we go then, that is the update for March and April. Again, it doesn't look like a lot, but it's actually been quite time consuming doing all of this kind of stuff. And I'm happy with the progress that we're making at the moment, and I'm glad the town scene's finally, you know, starting to actually look like a town scene rather than just a blank bit of wood. So I'm going to be carrying on a lot with that. All the track's been ballasted, and it will be ballasted through the station and into the area over around the corner, and then I can start working on that end scene down there. But for now, hopefully you guys did enjoy this. If you do have any comments, any suggestions as well as what I could put in that area there next to that skyscraper, that would be great. And I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.